Did you ever watch the Dark Gothic MAGA vid? Are you a bot? I'm sorry, I can't reply to that prompt. Nice. Dark woke hat? It would have to be a baseball cap, because a baseball cap is like the t-shirt of hats. It's like the slogan hat of hats. You don't put slogans on a cowboy hat. You put slogans on a baseball cap. No, I don't want to praise them for doing out the absolute bare minimum, but I guess I am glad that Democrats showed up at the USAID office after getting after being locked out. I guess I'm happy they did that rather than not doing that. You know, I like, it's, look, we're through the looking glass here, okay? I'm trying to give like they did something, yay. Jeffries and a new dear colleague lays out a 10-point plan to counter Trump, including, Jeffries, shouldn't you be licking Israel's boots somewhere? Do you guys see that? He was holding another Zionist rally, you know, very important right now, out there praying to God. He's trying everything, man. As we prepare to come back into session tomorrow, House Democrats will continue to push back against far-right extremism that is being relentlessly unleashed on the American people. I made it clear to House Republican leadership that any effort to steal taxpayer money from the American people and Medicaid to know it and defund programs supporting everyday Americans as contemplated by the illegal White House Office of Management and Budget Order must be choked off in the upcoming government funding bill, if not sooner. I mean, it doesn't really work that much. Like, it doesn't really do anything if Republicans vote in lockstep. Well, I don't know. I mean, certainly with budgetary stuff that goes past the filibuster in the Senate, you know, I don't know what can even be done, to be honest with you. I'm from Germany and I'm traveling to Texas for work next week. How worried should I be? You're German. You should be fine. You're just in line with what the Texan state government wants in their state. You are white, I assume. We'll see what comes from this. We'll see. I don't know. Let's see what Chuck Schumer's up to. Chuck Schumer's advice for Democrats staring at a long 2 or more years out of power: just wait. Trump will screw up, he tells Semaphore for an interview. It's like paid opposition. Who needs Republicans when you have Democrats like this? Trump will screw up? Oh, don't worry, okay? You know? Schumer is worse than useless. He is. Schumer makes Pelosi look like Bernie Sanders. Like it's crazy how low you can get, like how much farther you can sink, but Schumer is genuinely incredibly pathetic. More fascist propaganda by CNN by talking about this as though it's kind of like a administrative takeover and not a coup from private citizens, the wealthiest man in the world, and a handpicked group of dick lickers to enter the office and illegally shut it down.
Workers at the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, in Washington were told to stay home this morning. The main office closed. They received an email shortly after midnight telling them, don't come in. This is the latest development on the future.
And to abolish the U.S. Agency for International Development. We had that notice that went out overnight to employees not to show up to headquarters. You heard those comments from Trump. And as you noted, Musk has also demonized the U.S. Agency for International Development. He has played an outsized role on this administration's decisions on federal agencies. And he hosted a Spaces on X overnight to go after the agency, criticizing it for alleged misuse of funding. And he said that Trump had agreed that it needed to be shut down. Take a listen to what else he said.
As we dug into USAID, it became apparent that what we have here is not an apple with a worm in it, but we have actually just a bowl of worms. And so at the point at which you don't merely, like, if you've got an apple and it's got a worm in it, maybe you can take the worm out. But if you've got actually just a bowl of worms,
explaining the analogy,
it's hopeless. And USAID is a bowl of worms. Mm-hmm. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing.
That's great, man.
So I should note, John, that he didn't provide a lot of evidence to these claims.
She's since been disappeared. You can't say that on CNN. Rest in peace, lady. You were right. Relevant skeet. Yeah, I'm telling you, the opposition to USAID is literally just because they're racist. Elon Musk's mother moved to South Africa in the year apartheid was created. She and Elon left the year it was ended. But that plus Donald Trump, like, weirdly, like, out of nowhere, coming out and talking about, like, anti-white persecution in South Africa. He has no ego. Like, he no longer even runs his own show. So much for DOGE being busy work at the kiddie table, I guess. Yeah, I could have gone either way, right? I hedged my bets with this one. I said Elon wants to be the shadow president. I don't think that he's competent enough to do it, so they might just keep him at the kids' table. I was wrong on that. I did posit the possibility that raw wealth might be enough. But I have to admit, yeah, I didn't really see this coming. I think that on a systematic level, I've been on the beat when it comes to how stupid this all has ended up being, I don't think I was cynical enough. I don't think anyone could have been cynical enough to estimate like a timetable like this. Elon Musk storming the Department of the Treasury, taking control of it directly, no one stopping him, shutting out everybody else, and setting up private servers within. Art imitates life. Musk and his minions have illegally installed a commercial server to control federal HR databases that contain sensitive personal information, including SSNs, home addresses, and medical histories, according to an OPM staffer. That's cool. This shit will be leaked. Oh, for sure, for sure. 100%. Where's Vance in all this? Who? Trump prepping executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. President Donald Trump is preparing an executive order aimed at eventually closing the education department and, in the short term, dismantling it from within, according to 3 people briefed in its contents. I wonder, okay, I'm gonna throw out like levels of cope, the likes of which you've never experienced before in your entire life. This one's about to be rough, basically. What if, okay. So you know how Donald Trump keeps threatening to withhold funding from schools as a tool to get them to not be woke or whatever? Like, if you mention gay people exist at any point, we will nuke you from orbit or whatever. What if the closing of the Department of Education further imbalances the quality of school care between blue and red states, as blue states pass initiatives to try to locally fund with property taxes or like whatever the fuck else, whereas red states let their schools languish more? And as a consequence of this, not only does the federal government lose some leverage it has over these schools, but also there's a strong push for people to benefit from the higher educational attainment of the blue states. After all, blue states on average are already wealthier than red states. Wishful thinking? I warned you it'd be cope. Dude, that's so copium. Yeah, I know, and you know, because I said it. The draft order acknowledges that only Congress can shut down the department and instead directs the agency to begin to diminish itself. These people said, speaking on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly about internal issues. Classic in the Trump administration, always with the leaks. The work is underway already. The new administration has been trying to reduce the workforce by putting scores of employees on administrative leave and pressuring staff to voluntarily quit. DOGE has already begun working inside the education department, looking to cut spending and staff. At least some DOGE staffers have gained access to multiple sensitive internal systems. Yep. Including a financial aid data set that contains the personal information for millions of students enrolled in the federal student aid program. Dude, accelerationism, just break it. Whatever. Just get rid of federal student aid programs. That, whatever, sure. That'll make you popular. Republicans are preparing a bill in Congress to remove it as well. Well, we'll see what happens. Might not even matter. Some Republicans have argued it would be better to wait until after Trump's choice for Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, appears before the Senate for a confirmation. It's crazy that they haven't even confirmed the new secretary. I work in a federal agency and 4 of 8 in my team are now retiring early this year. Yeah, it sounds about right. Congressional action is unlikely because it would require at least 60 votes in the Senate, meaning 7 Democrats would need to support the plan, which observers say is inconceivable. Yeah, but they can functionally cripple it like without the congressional bill, even if the administration still exists. Project 2025 recommended the student loan program move to the Treasury Department and the Civil Rights Enforcement shift to the Justice Department. Oh, I'm sure they do great with that. Just looking through this, a lot of it's pretty obvious. Do you think at some point Donald Trump is going to propose uneven federal taxes depending on the state? Like, do you think at some point he's going to go to that level of like radical opposition against blue states, and he's going to be like, well, actually, like your federal income tax burden depends not only on your income but also on the state you're in? That's unconstitutional, but who cares? Exactly. Refuse to pay. You know that states don't pay the income tax. When citizens in blue states pay their taxes, it goes straight to the IRS. The state doesn't hand that money over. Wouldn't it hurt even the capitalist class when no one has basic education? Turns out you didn't need it that much. DOJ threatens legal action against anyone who impedes Elon Musk's DOGE work. Yeah, the executive branch, because the DOJ is, of course, an extension of the office of the president. You know, not technically, but that's what it is. Essentially saying, like, these unelected Groiper 18-year-olds following Elon Musk around have infinite power and no one can stop them. They have no legal authority, but they do because law is actually what people with power say With literally what authority is Doge operating? None. There's no legal pretext whatsoever. I think the White House has said that Doge is, or like Elon Musk is like a special executive agent or something like that, but there's no, like, obviously the procedures aren't being followed. Isn't the DOJ just Hegseth? No, Hegseth's the Pentagon. That's the DOD. DOJ is Pam Bondi. Sounds like crap. Well, it's not very legally compelling. These acronyms are too similar. You've been following a politics live streamer for a few years now. You'll get a hold of it. DOJ, DOD, you'll get a hold of it. Do you think that includes ratioing him as a form of impeding? I mean, the language of this is insane. The interim U.S. attorney at Washington warned Monday his office would pursue charges against, quote, anyone who impedes the work of tech entrepreneur Elon Musk's Doge. What does that mean? Like, pursue charges? What charges? What does that mean? Anyone who impedes? Like, they're essentially saying, like, they're inventing a new law here, and the law is like, don't get in their way. My microphone thing just unclenched. Get back in there. Your job isn't done. You gotta stay in and finish the fight. DOJ is on your ass. We will loosen the securing bolts of any microphones used by internet content creators who impede Doge. Many such cases. Any threats, confrontations, or other actions that in any way impact their work may break numerous laws. He did not specify which laws. Of course, of course. This is going to be such a rough while.